Hello everyone, welcome back to. Today, we're delving into a fascinating and crucial topic, how viruses infiltrate and infect the human body. We live in an age where understanding this microscopic world has never been more essential. From the common cold to more severe diseases, viruses have a significant impact on our lives. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our science-packed content. Now, let's get started. Firstly, what exactly are viruses? Viruses are minuscule infectious entities that are incapable of replicating on their own. They're vastly different from the bacteria and fungi we often associate with infections. Unlike these microorganisms, viruses aren't considered living entities on their own. However, don't let this fool you into underestimating their potential. When they find a suitable host, like a human cell, they gain the ability to replicate, and that's when they can unleash chaos. They're not considered living organisms themselves, but when they find a host, they can wreak havoc. Viruses come in various shapes and sizes, but they typically consist of genetic material, either DNA or RNA, surrounded by a protective protein coat called a capsid. This genetic material contains the instructions that give the virus its unique characteristics and functions. This is also what allows the virus to replicate once it has invaded a host cell. The capsid, on the other hand, acts as a shield, protecting the delicate genetic material from the hostile environments outside the host cell. It is composed of protein subunits, fitting together like the pieces of a puzzle to form a structure that can vary greatly from one type of virus to another. This diversity in structure is part of what makes viruses so adaptable and resilient. In addition to the capsid, some viruses also have an outer envelope. This envelope is essentially a stolen piece of the host cell's own membrane, which the virus uses to disguise itself and evade the host's immune system. Some viruses also have an outer envelope derived from the host cell's membrane. Now, let's talk about how viruses enter the human body. They primarily invade through mucous membranes, such as the nose, mouth, or eyes. These areas are like open doors, welcoming in not just the air we breathe or the food we eat, but also these tiny invaders. Viruses can also enter through breaks in the skin, like cuts or abrasions. Some are transmitted via insect bites, directly injecting the virus into our bloodstream. Certain viruses, like those causing sexually transmitted diseases, can infiltrate through intimate contact, gaining access to our body's interior via the mucous membranes in the genital area. Once they've gained entry, viruses begin their journey. They travel through our body in our bloodstream or nervous system, seeking out the specific cells they're designed to infect. The virus attaches to the cell and tricks it into letting it inside. And that's when the real havoc begins. So, whether we're breathing, eating, or just living our everyday lives, we're constantly at risk of these viral invaders. Once inside, the journey begins. Viruses are like expert infiltrators. They attach to specific receptors on the surface of host cells, gaining entry. But this isn't a random encounter. Instead, it's a precise, calculated interaction. Picture a lock and key mechanism, with the virus being the key and the host cell receptor being the lock. Each virus has unique protein spikes, like a key's teeth, which fit perfectly into the receptors of certain cells, like a key into a lock. This compatibility ensures that the virus can only infect specific types of cells. For instance, the influenza virus primarily targets cells in our respiratory tract, while the HIV virus zeroes in on immune system cells. Once the virus attaches to the cell, it deceives the cell into letting it in. It's almost like the virus is wearing a disguise, tricking the cell into thinking it's harmless. This interaction is like a lock and key mechanism, ensuring the virus enters the right type of cell. Once inside, viruses take over the host cell's machinery to replicate themselves. This process, called viral replications, is a bit like a hostile takeover. The virus, now comfortably lodged inside the host cell, starts to use the cell's own resources to manufacture more of itself. First, the virus's genetic material, either DNA or RNA, gets to work. It begins to control the cell, instructing it to produce viral proteins. These proteins are then assembled into new viruses, miniature clones of the original invader. But it's not all smooth sailing for the virus. The host cell doesn't take this lying down. It fights back, trying to halt the production of these viral invaders. However, if the virus is successful, it can overwhelm the cell, leading to its destruction. The newly minted viruses then burst forth from the destroyed cell, ready to continue the cycle. This can lead to the destruction of the host cell or the continuous production of new viruses, ready to infect more cells. Our body isn't defenseless, though. The immune system plays a crucial role. Imagine it as an army of white blood cells, antibodies, and other warriors, ready to guard against these viral invaders. These defenders tirelessly work to recognize the intruders, often through their unique mugshots or antigens. They then launch an attack to eliminate them. However, viruses are cunning adversaries. They can mutate, change their mugshots, and sometimes outsmart our defenses. White blood cells and other defense mechanisms work tirelessly to recognize and eliminate invading viruses. But sometimes, viruses can outsmart these defenses. As the virus multiplies, it can cause symptoms ranging from mild to severe. These can include anything from a simple runny nose to disruptive body aches or even life-threatening conditions. The virus's goal: to spread. And it does this ingeniously through everyday actions like sneezing, coughing, or even touching shared surfaces. As these tiny agents of chaos continue their mission, our understanding of these symptoms and how they spread becomes our most potent weapon. Sneezing, coughing, and other ways of spreading the virus help it find new hosts. Understanding these symptoms and transmission methods is essential for prevention. And there you have it. A brief insight into how viruses infect the human body. We've explored their structure, entry points, replication, and the body's immune response. From the initial invasion to the aftermath of symptoms and spread, viruses are truly intricate adversaries. But knowledge is power. By understanding how these tiny agents operate, we can better equip ourselves to prevent and combat viral infections. If you found this video informative, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Stay curious, stay informed, and until next time, this is signing off.